Hello everyone, welcome to another Blender tutorial. So we're going to pick up where we left off in the last tutorial. Link to that will be down in the description in case you missed it. And what we're going to be doing today is adding some 3D effects. What I mean by that is basically text and images. Now the images are going to be a bit weird because you have to use a certain file type, and that file type has some difficulty with colors. So I'm going to show you a quick online converter which can get you started, or the other way which I use most of the time, or pretty much 90% of the time, which is simply just to cut the image out. So we're going to do both of those. This is our scene from last time, so we're simply going to build on what we made in the last video. So, do I have my screen keys enabled? No. I'll turn them on. There we go. So the first thing we're going to do is add some text. I'm going to add it to the Dominus folder. Even though we're not going to be importing the Dominus, I'm just going to keep everything there so you can see it for this tutorial. So to do this, we'll go to Add, and then Text. And you can see the outline of it. It's not that clear because we've got everything in the way. So what we'll do, we'll just select everything there like that and press H to... Oh, shit. Let's try that again. We'll select mainly the floor, but also we want the car as well. So we'll press H to hide. There we go. Now we can see our text. Now to edit the text, we need to go into edit mode. This view that we've been working on the whole time, if you look up in the top left, we see object mode. And if we click the drop down, you see edit mode there. So we'll select our text and we'll press the hotkey, which is tab. And now we're in edit mode, so you can see we can now edit. And obviously up the top has changed to edit mode. So let's call this test text. And once we've done, we want to come out of edit mode into object mode. So we'll just press tab again, like that. And this is now our text. So we can move this to where we like. So as you can see, this text is flat. It's only 2D. To get some depth to it, to make it actually 3D, we need to do a couple of things. First is right click and convert to mesh. Now we go into edit mode again with tab. A so it selects everything, all the text. And we go press E to extend it. And that gives us this line, and we want it to extend it on the Z axis. So we press Z. And now we simply just drag our mouse down, and you can see it's getting a bit thick. So we'll have it about there. So I'm happy with that. So we're going to come out of edit mode by pressing tab. And there is our 3D text. So let's now unhide all of this. And we don't need that. So where can we put this? Well, I want this sort of in here, top left. And I've just seen some tires that are missing as well. So we're going to, with our text selected, the Z location is the height. So we're going to be scrolling this all the way down. Here it comes. So it's in our camera box. And now we can use our arrows here. We also want to rotate it this way by 90. And not that. This way. Say about there. Oh yeah, so I want this behind the car, so we want it over here. And let's shift it that way slightly. Like so. Now, it is a bit small and we do have a lot of room to work with, so we can use our scale here. So let's just scale this up. And sort of go behind the car. I'm not too worried about that. So let's work with this value that we've just set here. So Control C while highlighting or hovering over the Y, and then paste and paste. So I'm happy with that. Now let's go into the shading tab, click on our text and press new. Here, hang on, let me sort something out first. Show. There we go. So, what we can do with this, as the text now has a BSDF, we can make it metallic, we can give it a color. All of this will interact with the lighting. So if I now switch to this, it's being lit up by the light which we have, which is the torus up here, this big light we made last time. However, let's say we want it to be its own light. We don't want it to rely on the light from the scene. So we're going to Shift A and then search for emission. And we're going to plug that into there. So now this is its own light source. And let's bump that up to 3. And to prove this, I'm going to hide the torus. So the only light now is the text and the headlights. And to go one step further, let's come into here. So we do it like this. You can see how it now reflects on the floor. So let's show the torus. So that's how you add text. That's quite simple. We now connect our BSDF back. The text will the text will be green, but it will react to its surrounding, like whatever material you give it. So going on from that, let's now add a logo. I have quite a few logos. Let's start you off with something easy. Let's do the endpoint logo. So for this, it'll be easier, so you don't have to keep hiding everything or closing down a collection. It will be easier to open up another Blender. So let's do that. Again, we'll press A and then delete because we don't need any of that. And I shall also enable my screen keys here. Cool. So for this method, you want to add a plane, come up to the top Z view, and then add image, image as plane, and then find your image or logo, whatever you want to use. So logo textures, endpoint symbol, and then you come over to this shading port, and you can see it here, but it's not that clear. So what I'm going to do is give it the plane and material and make it black so it's easier to see the endpoint logo. And whoops. And I'm going to scale the endpoint logo so it's a bit bigger. Okay, so the logo is taking up most of the size of the plane. Now, the way we could do this is we select the plane. And what we want to do is go into edit mode, again by pressing tab. And we want to press K. K is for knife. And what we're going to be doing is cutting out the shape. So now I've pressed K, we have our little knife. And what you want to do for moving around your image, around this workspace, everything wants to be done using your keyboard and mouse with hotkeys. So you have scroll up, middle mouse scroll up for zoom in, down for zoom out. If you hold down Shift and press your middle mouse button, you can then move the plane. Well, not the plane, but you can move your workspace. And this is how you want to be moving around. You can't really click your icons up here because you have the knife. So I'm going to come up and start on the point. So I'm going to click and then drag this down sort of little bits at a time. And we'll just keep going. Again, holding down Shift, middle mouse, so I can scroll around the board. And then back to the start. So I've just joined up with our very first incision. So now I'm going to press enter. And it's done some weird things. It connects to the edges. This is something you will have to overcome if it overlaps something that you want to cut out next. You'll probably see this when we come to the inside letters, so I'll point it out then. But anyway, now we've cut out just this shape. What we want to do, how can I explain this? So we haven't cut out the image, we've just cut out this shape on the plane. So what we want to do now is make cuts along the inside of this shape so that we can select this area and have it as its own object. And we'll do the same for the letters. So what we can do, we can get into the starting position again, which is we can do the top point, press K, and we're going to go along marking the corners. And now we're back to the start, so I'm going to press enter again. And as you can see here, it has joined the first or the top cut we made and the second or bottom cut. This cut means that this part to here and then this bottom part are two separate planes or faces, and that will be important later on when we need to separate them. So now that we've got this outer one done, we can come and work on the E. So we're going to press K again, and we're just going to mark out the E. I do realise that the last tutorial was just under an hour, so I apologise. But I hope you found it useful, and I'm going to try and make this one a bit quicker. So again, we've just come up to our first point. I'm going to press enter. And as you see here, this cut has now gone straight through the space where we need to cut out for this object or this D. So what we'll do is we'll start down here. And as you see how we can move freely, as we cross over or come close to this line, your knife will automatically snap to it, which is really fucking annoying. Now, luckily with this image, we have a lot of room. But what you'll see as we go past, it makes its own incision onto that line. So that's something to be cautious of. If it does get to a point where you have an image that you need to cut out and that line is getting in the way, you can zoom in as much as possible. That normally helps. I'm not sure if there's a auto snapping feature for this. I honestly haven't checked, so that's something you guys can look into and let me know if there is such a thing. Okay, so we're now back to our starting point. Again, I'm going to press enter, and that's us done. Now, once you've done, come up to the top here. You have your three options, which you would recognize from the UV editing tab. So we're going to select this one, the face select. Now, I don't know if you can see this on the recording, but as I select different faces, you see they highlight slightly different. And you can see here where the cut passes through. As you see, we've got this top part of the D and then the bottom part. They're separate. And the same for this portion and this portion. So we want all of these to be selected. So I'm going to select the top one, hold down Shift, click the bottom, keeping hold of Shift, select the E, the top part of the D, and now the bottom part. And that's everything we've cut out. It has now been selected. What we're going to do now is press P and separate by selection. And that's it. So now we tab back into object mode. And as you'll see, we have plane 001. This is everything we've cut out. So now if I raise this up, and what we can do, we can hide the logo and the original plane. And we have our endpoint logo. Again, it's only 2D because planes are 2D. So what we're going to do is select this cutout, tab back into edit mode, press A for all, E for extend or extrude, I can't remember which it is, and this is the reason why we press Z. If I move down, normally that will come at an angle. I don't think it shows the angle very well, but you want a straight down. So E to extend, and then on the Z, and then we'll just move it down. So let's say roughly about there. So I'm happy with that. So we'll tab back into object mode, and there's our 3D image. So we're going to select that, copy, come back into our original scene, and paste. Where is it? There it is. So what we want to do, again, we want to position this. So we want this by 90. And then let's have it about there, and let's find a good scale. Where's the floor? Oh, we're very close to the car. Yeah, we're almost touching the floor there, so we'll copy that, do that, and bring it down just a bit more. There we go. So there's our object, and what we'll do is we'll do the same as what we've done for the text. Now this already has its BSDF from the plane, the original plane that we made here. This. Remember at the beginning, I made it a material and made it black so that we could see the logo. So this is copied. It still has its original principles. So what we can do now, we can make it white or whatever color, make it metallic, drop the roughness so it interacts with the light, do all kinds of stuff. And then the same, what we'll do is we'll use this emission. Actually, let's give it an endpoint color. make it sort of blue-ish. And we'll drop it back down to 1.5. Let's see how that looks. That's not too bad. Now, it doesn't look very 3D. That's simply because of the emission. So what we'll do is we'll copy that color value, put it into there, connect the BSDF up. That's better. You can sort of see it a bit more definition, especially once this sample is out. You can see the inside of it. So that's the logos. Now there is another way, which is using a converter. You need a specific file type. Add. No, you have to go File, Import, and it is SVG. This is the file format that you want. And it can be very annoying. So let's find one that we can work with. What do I have that's transparent and we can use? Something with a lot of color. Can we do G2? That's got a fair bit. So let's do the G2 esports. Let's turn that off now. Okay. Okay, so this is the website, png to svg.com. This is going to be a bit weird. So let's move our G2 logo into here. And you can see it gives you the palette. This is the colors it detects. You can drop the colors. What it should do is give you a preview. I'm not sure if to click generate first, but really you want as much color depth as you can to bring out the colors that the image contains. So let's give this a try. This was the default values of it. So let's click generate. That's not too bad. I don't know if you can see it on the recording, but you've got G2 esports here. It looks a bit pixelated, but nothing too bad. So let's do download SVG. What's it called? It's called image to vector. This is it. So here's our SVG image. So we can come into Blender, File, Import, SVG, Downloads. And where are we? Is it going to be fucked again? Let's try it. What we'll do first, just so it's easier to see, File, Import, SVG. Nah, it's here. It's just very small. So as you can see, it's in lots of different layers. I think it's separated by color. Remember, there was 5 different colors. You had the white, black, grey, red, and something else, something in between. So I think that's all of these. So again, we're going to parent these. The way I want this to be parented for an easy selection, just click the words. So the words are the last thing we want, which is 1. So let's do 4, 2, 0, and then shift like that. Control P, keep transformation. Hey, there we go. So now that we have these parented together, let's up the scale. About 6. Go a bit more actually. Let's go about 7. Now, what I've done was I also added the Z value. This is the height, but obviously it's still just a plane. So what we're going to do, select all, convert to mesh, select the text, tab into edit mode, A for all, E to extend, on the Z for the Z, and bring it down, tab back in, and there we have it. Now, as you can see, it's not that great. I think the black actually got left out. You have to do it all at a time. Hang on, let's see if there's a easier way. Undo, 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 undo. Where's the parent? Okay, let's try this. Let's go with... let's do all of this and actually go... Is it... Oh, J for join? Hang on. Oh, Control J, join. Whoa, that fucked everything up. Yeah, let's not do that then. Okay, so let's keep it how it was. So, like that. Whoops. Parent, keep. All. See if that would work. Convert to mesh. I'm just doing this quite quickly. Tab, all. Extend on the Z. There we go, that worked. So what I've done there was with only the vectors showing, so nothing else. Press A for all. This is after the parent. A for all. Right click, convert to mesh. Tab into edit mode. Again, A for all. E to extend or extrude. On the Z, bring it down. Tab back out. And now we have it. So let's now select these. Control C to copy. Come into Blender. Paste. And where is it? There it is. Whoops. Path. Boom. So let's now up the scale of this. What did we say? Let's try 15. Boom, boom, 15. And we can now bring it across, bring it up. To 90. Bring it out that way a little bit, like that. 30. Where's the floor? Floor's all the way down there. Okay. Let's do something like that, and let's see how that works. So if we go into shading, that's not too bad. Turn this back on so we actually see what if I can click in on. Let's move this over here. And let's put it up to say 35. That's pretty good. I would say that's pretty good. Now, one thing I would mention, looking at this this image here, your text. If you're not happy with this, you're shit out of luck. So if you noticed a mistake or something, you'd have to create it again, simply because you made it as a mesh. Yeah, that's all I'd say. So you just need to add a new text, write it out again. Actually, let's do something else because I forgot to actually show you this. So let's add another text. And let's put it as 90. Right, let's leave it here for now so we can see. With your text selected, oops, there we go. With your text selected, in your right panel here, you have a menu option. And if you go to font, you can now choose a font. All of this should be reflected for what you have installed on your computer. Now, I say should because on my desktop, you can fuck off. On my desktop, I have a font here. Zenik? How the fuck you say? I have that. That is installed on my PC. If I open GIMP, I can use it. I can select it as a text. However, I can't select it in here. It just can't be, it's not selectable from the Windows directory folder or wherever the fonts are installed. What I have to do is browse to my desktop folder and go into here and then select this. So if you do have custom fonts, before you delete them, the install packages, and you want to use them in Blender, I would suggest to make sure to try them just to make sure they work. If they work from the Windows directory, you can delete the folder. If not, keep the folder somewhere safe that you can always set Blender to. For example, if I open up, regular, open up the folder, and it's Zenik. Of course, the very bottom is Y. But then if I go to desktop, Zenik, there it is. Open font. There you go. I don't get it. I've asked for help for this. No one knows why. But oh well, never mind. So again, from here, now that I've made some changes that I wanted, it's the same process. So let's go tab into edit mode. Sorry, before we do that, I want to convert to mesh. Tab into edit mode, A for all, extend, and drag that out to about there. I'm happy with that. We now have more 3D text that we can move. Let's try to take this way. Bring it around here, shading, new shading. Let's make this metallic again. Let's drop that down. And let's make this purpley. And what we will do is rotate it this way, this way. There we go. And there's our scene. So I'm going to leave it here. Nice short episode, nice short video for you. Yes, something extra for you guys to add to your scenes. Again, same as the last video, if you have anything that you want to cover, like how to do in Blender, let me know. I'll see if I can find a way to incorporate it and make a video for it.